to sort of break down like 8 milestones to launching the brand, because I think I've seen a lot of people sort of jump back and forth between tech packs, designs, brand book, and sort of just jumping back and forth just adds that extra layer of confusion. And also, you know how we used to do routine and roadblock calls? Um, it's hard to see where you're stuck sometimes. So what I wanted to do was sort of outlay 8 really simple milestones that I think can help describe your whole launch strategy. So I've numbered them in this way. So I reckon number 1 is brand book, and number 2 is design. We've got manufacturer pack at number 3. We've got finding the right manufacturer at number 4. Your pre-production samples, number 5. Creative direction, number 6. And I'll get into all of these. Hype, number 7, and launch, number 8. Now, it's funny because all your work in the early days is just these 3. So at this time here, you're working on stuff. And between here and here, you're kind of just waiting. And then I guess before we go into the launch, you're back to working, doing your stuff. So if you guys want to drop in the chat kind of where you're at right now, would you be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Just so I can get a good idea of where you guys are at. Jake, 3 to 4, okay. Tim, yep, between 1 and 2. All right. Okay, so the biggest mistake I see here is people jumping to this before they do number 2, which is design. And jumping directly to that is Jane. Yeah, okay. Jane's at 1. Jumping directly to that is going to freak you out, and you can make a lot of mistakes. And I've seen a lot of you guys over the last probably month and a half going directly to the manufacturer pack. So when I'm talking about the manufacturer pack, I'm talking about 3 things. So 1 is design, 2 is reference samples, and 3 is your tech pack. Now, the way I look at it, our designs are really mock-ups or something easy that just gets the look and feel out of the way really quick. So if I'm thinking about the manufacturer pack, I'm going, all right, number 1's design. Number 2 is reference samples. So tees, this might be the fit, and this might be the fabric. And then we've got tech packs if you want to do tech packs. A lot of you guys are kind of skipping past the tech pack, which is okay. You still can do it without a tech pack, but it's always better to have one. But let's say you just went straight from your brand book to your manufacturer pack. What do you guys has anyone got any ideas what could happen if you guys did that? If you just went straight from, if you skipped sort of design in a whole, do you guys have any sort of ideas on what might happen? You feel free to just yell out.
I mean, you don't really know what you're making.
Yeah, right. You don't know what you're making.
Right.
But the main thing is, then that's very true. But it's still kind of in your head. Like, you kind of know what you want, but then sometimes you skip past that and you go straight to a garment tech to do a tech pack for you. And I've seen it happen heaps. And what happens is you tend to go into bulk production with stuff that you're not stoked with. Like you still, it might be okay because you've got like a garment tech or someone from Upwork that you've just chatted to about the brand, and they might have just drafted up something, whatever for you, and you end up going into production with stuff you're not stoked with. So we want to avoid that at all costs because it happens so easy. Sometimes you're in the rat race of doing your brand and you have an idea and you try and launch it and you're trying to get it out there really fast and you're meeting with people, but you got to go back a step and just be like, have I finished the whole design process? So it does. It stops you in your tracks. So it stops you in forward motion. You can't move forwards anymore. And you get really, really stuck. So I guess now, I want to make sure you guys understand exactly where you're at and find, fix, and finish. So find the problem or find where you're at. So it might be, one, two, three, kind of in the early days, maybe four. Fix any issues that you have at this point. And that's what we're here for. So you can contact myself or mainly Alana when it comes to sort of this stuff. Between here and here is really Alana's wheelhouse. But um, you guys got to find where you're at really quick. And it's good that some of you already know. And if you don't know, I'm happy to just jump on a call with you and help figure out exactly where you're at. Is anyone not sure where they're at the moment? Jane, are
I'm
you
fine,
okay?
mate.
Tim, you all right?
So yeah,
Yep.
I've just put a graphic designer on yesterday,
Yep.
so that's all done. So she's going to be a couple of weeks to get sort of the brand up and running and all that sort of stuff. I don't
Yep.
want to sit around doing nothing in the interim. So what I was going to do is reach out to manufacturers to try and get some fabric swatches,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if that's jumping too far ahead, or I just don't want to be sitting here doing nothing, that's all, whilst I wait. So I don't have
Great
designs
point.
or anything to
Yep.
go back to them with or anything like that. It was just more to sort of touch base to say, this is what I want to do in the future. Can you send me
Mhm.
some examples of what you can provide so that once I'm ready to go, I can say, right, yeah, I want that one, and here's all the detail you need.
Yeah, great idea. So let me just get that clear. Tim, you're kind of between one and two. So um, when we think about
Yeah,
your
yep,
when we think about your
yep.
design work, um, what's not done? Is there anything in your head at the moment that's not quite done? Like, is there something? Is it laid out in a way that you can go, this is my range or this is my tees? Is that done yet?
Not quite, because what the designer will come back with will probably drive the first campaign. So
Okay.
once I see that, I know exactly what I want to do with them, but I need to
Yep.
see them first before I can say, right, that's what I'm going to do from a mock-up standpoint.
Yep. Yep. Welcome in, Nadia. So all right, Tim. So what I think you can do here is you want to you can reach out to a manufacturer for swatches, which is good. Um, it's not a bad thing. The only thing that I think is negative in that regard is you might be reaching out to a manufacturer with not much in your hands. You don't have any
Hmm.
designs yet. You've got nothing to show them. So the whole point of the manufacturer pack is those three things: design, reference samples, and tech packs. And I think
Hmm.
when I've contacted a factory with all three of those things, they go, "This guy's serious," and they like it. They're
Hmm.
like, "Okay, I'm going to work with this guy. In fact, if he wants a discount, he probably knows what he's talking about. I'm going to try and work with him and make it work out." So what you're doing is not wrong. It's actually fine. You can definitely reach out for swatches, but that's
But
the
you think it'd be
only.
better to have sort of the designs and that ready to go before I send that email?
Yeah, yeah, I reckon because
Yeah.
it comes across a little bit more professional. I don't know. What's your sort of take on that, Alana?
Yeah, they might, as soon as you contact a supplier, they will start hassling you. So
Yeah,
Okay.
keep
Yeah.
that in mind
yeah,
that as soon as you say anything, they're just going to be on your back, like
Yeah.
they want the work. So if you're not ready, then you're going to have to be like pushing them back a lot.
Yeah.
Um, so you can probably wait until you know what you're doing because they're so
Perfect.
quick.
Yeah. Too easy.
But I
yeah.
do think what you said about going to the fair is a good idea, like meeting them that way and having a look at their
Yeah.
fabrics and things like that.
Yeah, I'm looking
Will-
forward to that, because you can actually. I was speaking to Elisa the other day, and she was saying she went to the one in Sydney, and that's how she found her manufacturer, because she was there, she was touching, she was feeling it, she knew what
Yeah,
she was doing. So yeah, I'm looking. That's in a couple of weeks. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
yeah, that'll be.
Yeah, awesome. Um, all right, yeah, so that kind of clears that up for you as well,
Yeah,
Tim. Like
perfect.
just
Thanks, mate.
yeah, going
Yeah.
down that route. Jake, I'm gonna sort of spotlight you. How you going with this? Are you sort of stuck on anything?
No, we're
Right?
pretty good, eh? I had a meeting with our tech government on Monday, so
Yeah,
she's starting the tech process this week, and we've
yeah,
got a call with her next Wednesday to touch base. Just that, but yeah, she's
awesome,
doing the designs and tech pack. She does everything, which is good.
awesome. Um,
Yeah,
that's really good. So one thing you can do in that
Hmm.
in that space here is once that's done, at least you know between 3 and 4, you can put together that manufacturer pack and you can
Yeah.
basically reach out to 10 factories if you want, or you can reach out to 5
Hmm. Yeah.
or whatever you want
Yeah.
to do because now you're in a position of tick, 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 move on to this
Yeah.
thing
Yeah. Everything's
and
done.
get a lot of quotes back and see how you go. You
Yeah,
can never
sure.
go wrong. You can never go wrong with more quotes. You'll be sweet.
Yeah.
Um,
Now we're going to shop around.
yeah, that's really good. So yeah, perfect. And now then there's this waiting time um in the middle where we kind of talk about
Yeah.
the that
We're going to set up
critical
our back
path.
end. Like, yeah, we're going to set up
Yeah,
like the Shopify socials, just get that all ready.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
and also uh doing a bit of creative direction as well. Like thinking about,
Yeah.
if you got together 5 Instagram pages that you really like. Now
Yeah.
that's gonna sort of fall into this category here of the creative direction. And then in your waiting time, that's what that's about. Like
Yeah,
piecing
for
everything
sure.
together. But
Yeah.
I think getting past this working phase is the initial
Mm.
start point. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, once you're beyond that, you're going well. So that's really good.
Yeah. Thanks, mate.
No worries. So we've got Jane. How are you going at the moment? Might be on mute. I'll skip across to Nadia. How are you?
Hi.
How's things?
Yeah, good. I've probably spent too much time on my brand.
Yeah.
But I finally knuckled down. I'm really happy with the look and feel of the logo and the direction the brand's heading in.
Awesome.
So I really just got to finalize, I guess, my brand book now. Um, and I want to head to that manufacturer expo too in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So probably in the next 3 weeks, I want to really have all that finalized, and I'm probably in the process of, I guess, finding like a fashion designer now or a garment tech, like you said.
Yeah. Well, 100%. So 1, 2. So once you've done your brand book, you bang on
Yeah,
to design.
yeah,
And you might have missed that sort of first bit, but I tried to break it up into sort of 8 milestones um,
mm,
to launch. And
yeah,
I was just saying that basically this is your working phase here, and this is your waiting phase, and then you're back into work here. Um,
yeah,
so where you're at now, it's a good place to be because you've done your brand book, or hopefully nearly done, like nearly finished that,
yeah,
and then you can go straight into all your designs.
yeah,
And then I wouldn't even think too hard about them. You'll find a manufacturer, right? Everyone finds a
yeah,
manufacturer. When people don't find manufacturers, it's purely because they haven't done this bit. Like
okay,
they go straight from design to manufacturer, or they go straight from they skip a step. And it's so important to not skip any steps because it's designed to make sure that you finish something and you go to someone with some info. So let's say you were to I'd definitely go to the expo and get some cards and stuff. Like I reckon it's a really good way of doing it, meet some people.
hmm,
But uh you'll want to have something together first ideally
Yeah.
before you go. Yeah. It'd be good
Yeah,
to
that's
have
the
something.
plan.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, fashion design, garment tech, reference samples, and
I think
uh,
what I'm probably struggling with at the moment now is trying to think what my MVP will be in terms of product.
mhm, yeah,
Um, yeah, I think that's where
that's
I'm
true.
stuck at the moment.
Yeah. Um, I'll just draw that out for you because I'll tell you how I sort of come across to my MVP. So what I do is if I'm thinking about my brand, because it's easiest for an example,
Yeah.
um, we've got these core values, which are like, fun, family, comfort, uh, cheeky, and that's kind of the core of it. And what I'm trying to do initially, launching a brand, is I'm trying to teach the world about it. I'm trying to let everyone know what I'm about, and I'm trying to get as many of these across as I possibly can. And if there's one value in there that I'm not trying to get across, I'll delete it. So let's say I added in a brand value, which was sustainability, and I'm going to try my best for sustainability. But if it doesn't go my way in terms of paper tags and stuff, I'm probably going to not go that route. So if that's the case, and I don't want to show that to the world, I'm going to delete that brand value because it's not that core. It's not that core to me. The core is basically the core four here. So
Yeah.
I look at my brand values and I think I'm trying to display who I am to the world in as short time as possible and as easy as possible. I'm just trying to teach everyone about my brand. That's it. And if I make a t-shirt, I'm going to find it pretty tricky to teach everyone about my brand in one hit, unless I did a comfy t-shirt with fun designs that somehow incorporated family, which I'd find really hard. And then it would, it could be comfy, but that's it. Whereas if I did a pajama set, I know that our fun designs kind of tie into that. The family ties into, being able to match with your partner and getting, we can take photos like that. The comfort's obviously in the pants and the cheekiness is in the designs. So my MVP for slouch would be a PJ set, or it would be the pants only, if that was all I could make, because it still ties in all the values. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, yeah. I think I know what it should be. I
Yeah.
think I've just got to go through and tick all the boxes, like you said.
Yeah. I mean, I know it seems a bit far-fetched when you just write out stuff like this. But if we break it down and think about the basic goal of what you're trying to do, it's to teach people about your brand. It's to bring something out where a stranger can recognize these values.
Yeah.
And if and the best brands do that, like a stranger looks at it and they get it. And they
Yeah.
and that and most brands have been around for ages that we know. So you see a bunch of products and everything makes sense. But when you're only working with a smaller budget and maybe a few products, it becomes really tricky. You got to think hard, and you got to be like, how can I get this over the line? How can I teach people about my brand and make it all make sense? Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's kind of my take on it. Um, Sorry, Jane. Yeah. Working on a brand book and feeling stuck with logos don't have a name. Yeah. Okay. So, um, yeah, I won't get into that too much here, Jane, but that's a bit tricky. Picking a name is always hard. I would still come back to the core values, to be honest. I think that's the most important thing. Um, yeah, I always find that the most important thing. Tim, got your hand up.
Yeah, so mate, so just with this example here, what if you're with the MVP, what if your products are only t-shirts, hoodies, and caps, for example? Like that's what you said there. Like that's pretty much my day one is those three items.
Here's hoodies, caps.
what am I? Yeah, so like I don't really have any other option other than to do those for day one. So as long as they meet the values of the company or of the brand,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah,
You might
yeah,
you might portray those values in the artwork,
yeah,
right? Or in the quality of the garment and stuff like that. It's kind of all you can do. But and that's your MVP sorted. But then you're gonna have to then you might want to put in more work to portray those values in the other parts of your business. So your content, your swing tags, your text, the way you speak to people, the way you email people, like all that kind of ties in as well. Because remember, it's still part of the launch strategy.
yeah,
And I would just tie in everything I can do. We
yeah,
we originally did uh we started off doing really fun emails to our audience. So when we started Slouch, obviously me and Zach were the only ones writing them. So we used to write really wacky stuff, fun stuff, catching people by surprise. Like I don't know if you guys know when you set up your Shopify, and we go through this in the hype campaign. There's a flow of emails that come out, and one of them is called the abandoned cart flow. So when someone joins your Shopify store and they add something to cart and they get out of it, Shopify knows, and it basically sends them an automatic email that Shopify coded that basically says, "Hey, did you miss something in your cart?" Like I'm sure you've all had that before, when like you shop for something and then you get out of it, um, and it says, "Hey, did you miss something in your cart?" Zach and I used to write email because it's all about fun and being cheeky. So we would write in our abandoned cart flow, like the subject line was like, "Oh my God, did you die? Like, are you okay? Like, how did you possibly not check out?" And like we just did all these funny like emails because that's like trying to push the cheekiness and the humor side of the brand a bit. And we always wrote things like that. And then we kind of went more commercial because we got different people in and we had people writing emails for us and we lost all of that. Um, and now what we're doing is we're actually working hard to bring it all back because I think it's important. Like it's stuff that I wish I didn't let go because um, I reckon for the last 3-4 months, we lost a bit of flavor to the brand because we were doing Warner Brothers stuff, and the rules are so strict that you can't joke around, you can't talk about death, you can't talk about um, humor, you can't make a joke about Harry Potter. Like we were stuck. We didn't know what to do. We had to just go with like whatever Kmart does, which is boring, right? It kills the brand. So now it's like going back to your brand values. We want to bring all that back again and teach people about the brand a bit more. Um, yeah, so think about it in the emails too, not just the MVP. Nadia, you said once your brand book's done, can it be sent to me for review? Yeah, for sure. So if you send me your brand book, I'll usually send back a Loom video or something that just like states, "Hey, this is what's cool, this is what I like." Most people miss um, brands they don't like and why. I always find like it's good to put that in. If you're going to approach a designer and you don't put in the brands that you don't like and why you don't like them, sometimes your designer will just start working with the brand that you don't like, and it's good for them to see that and see the reason. So that's a big one. Um, yeah, that's there's nothing else really new for me, guys. Open to any questions you've got. Um, how we going?
I've got a question for Jake, actually. You just said, mate, you just put on a garment tech. Are they in Australia? How did you find them? Are they, it's good to deal with? Because obviously I'm behind you at the moment. I'm going to get to there
Yeah.
eventually. So how did you find them and
So
how did you find them?
I posted an ad to Upwork
Yep.
and I just sort of skimmed through who was replying. Like I got heaps of requests. Then I found this girl from Turkey and I just checked out her socials, liked the way her sort of Instagram looked.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, shot her a message and we just clicked. She sort of understood our like scene and vibe, which was cool. She spoke good English as well. Just
Mm.
had a really good understanding about the industry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
awesome.
that's
Too easy.
great. Yeah, I've got a list of Still got a list of garment tech somewhere. It might be in the product section. I'll have a look for it.
I might get her details as well, Jake. If you, I'll hit you, when I'm ready, I'll hit you up on in the chat.
Yeah, I can send her Instagram through and you can have a look. Like
Yeah, perfect, mate.
it's
That'd be
sort of
great.
more I'm not sure yeah, like I'm not sure what your products are gonna be or what sort of
Yeah,
style you're going
yeah,
for.
yeah. If it, obviously it's got to fit, so yeah, let me have a look
Yeah.
and
But she's
yeah,
more like streetwear, underground sort of women's wear. I don't know if
yep,
it would sort of suit what you're doing, but I can still send it over to you.
similar but in men's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, no worries, mate.
thanks, mate.
I've got a list of garment techs here. So this is another great spot to look as well, Tim. We've got in the product section, we've got action plan garment tech, and I've got about 6 in there. So you can just click on them. They're all Upwork profiles. Now, all of these garment techs are actually students of my garment tech, who
Cool.
who teaches. It's basically she teaches a form of RMIT in Greece.
Oh, awesome.
She's basically an RMIT sort of fashion design teacher in Greece, and all these girls that she recommended for the program are really good. And she's got all of these recommendations here too.
Perfect. Love it.
Yeah. Um, she's got notes on them so you can sort of have a read and yeah,
Yep.
see if any of them help.
Yep.
But
Sweet.
I definitely go to these girls as well, just because of our garment
Yep.
tech. She's so good, and she
Hey,
just
sorry to cut you off, Joel.
yeah,
See those links you got there?
yep,
The links. You've actually got like the first word linked as well. And when I was clicking it, I was wigging out. See this at the end, like the start of the sentence.
ah,
That's why I was like, I couldn't click the link, and I was wigging out. But you just gotta get rid of this.
thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, good good point. So just copy
all good,
that
mate.
bit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So you just copy that bit, not the this.
yeah,
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 yeah. All right. Does that work? I'll just try and test it out. Oh, I'm not logged in. Okay, yeah. No worries. Um, cool. Okay. Awesome.
Yep.
Um, yeah, that's a great place to start too for garment techs. Um, and Adam, how are you tracking? Everything going well?
Not too bad, Joel. Not too
Yeah.
bad. As you sort of know, I'm going down a slightly different road with, at the moment anyway, how I'm sort of doing everything. So I'm sort of uh, working on a sort of expanding the range, working on more designs.
Yep.
I don't know if you might have seen my site, but I've worked on sort of my OG design and
Yep.
sort of worked in different colorways and things like that, which is to sort of make it a bit more broader appeal instead of just blacks and whites and things like that. I've kind of added some different colors in there and that kind of thing.
Awesome.
Um, Beyond, hey, there's me.
Yeah.
Um, the uh uh yeah, beyond that, I'm sort of working on the social media side of things. Sort of working on I'm good at design, but I'm not really great at content creation. Sort
Yep.
of as we've talked about a little bit, you got to sort of get that cut through posting. So that sort of 2 to 3 times a day, or well, probably at least twice a day, and then kind of advertising as well off that. Um, so
Yep.
I've been looking this week around at sort of AI apps, different sites that can help you produce content and, they'll kind of scour your website and come up with different um, can be photos or like images, short reels, sort of informational reels, things like that. So I've kind of been down that rabbit hole the last couple of days.
Yeah.
And that's it's really kind of cool because that's where I sort of really struggle is you've got to keep coming up with content and kind of getting things out there and as you know, mine's sort of a merch but message as well.
Mm.
So sort of trying to do all of that. To be honest, I kind of felt a little bit overwhelmed with it, and I've kind of been treading water for a little while, but a little while's probably months. But
Yeah.
the AI thing has kind of opened my eyes to a whole new way of being able to do that, and
Yeah.
which may not probably be the way I do it all the way, but it's kind of getting me started,
Mm.
in
Yeah.
something that I've been struggling with. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, at least you're doing something towards it. Me and
Yeah,
Alana.
there's so many sites and tools out there now that are you know most folks have probably seen them turn up in their feeds in one way or another. Um, a lot on Insta. Sort of, I'm just trying to think of some of the yeah Blaze and what else have I got? Blend AI,
Yeah.
Mm.
Predris or something like that. I've sort of been working with them the last few days, just sort of seeing how they work and that kind of thing. Um,
Yeah.
so that's kind of where I'm at. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
Alana and I were on the scale calls yesterday, and we're just chatting about one of the major bottlenecks is content. Running out of stuff. And there's a couple of ways to look at it. You can go nuts with content and deliver really low quality but more frequent, iPhone stuff. And Keegan, everything his whole brand's done on iPhone. And a lot of people don't have the confidence to do that, to be honest, because it's like they don't want to bring something out that looks scrappy or whatever. But in Keegan's eyes, it's kind of like he just does it because it's his only way, his only option. And I think he gets sales from that because it comes across as like grungy in his brand, all on iPhone. Um, and there's a lot of really big influencers that only use iPhone too. Like, the quality of the content doesn't have to be spectacular and all this stuff. So that's kind of one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is if you only post subpar content all the time just for consistency, like really subpar, then you devalue your brand. So you can take two routes with it, and you got to be careful not to do any of those. And I think the safest way for us to know if something is devaluing or it's too sort of amateur to post is if it doesn't align with our values. So it's a really clear sort of benchmark for me that I go, does this align with who I am and whatever it is? And because we could do an iPhone video of a guy in pajamas running and diving into a bush, right? That's a dumb video, but it kind of aligns with our brand. So even though it's iPhone, who cares? Because that's a good video. It's got the funny aspect. It aligns with our brand. It's pretty silly. And we've done it heaps of times. Like we've got videos of us running with iPhone diving into the water in our pajamas and stuff. That sort of stuff I'll post. Um, I don't know much about the AI content generation stuff, but I've seen a bit of it, and I've always kind of steered a little bit away from it, um, because I've just seen like a lot of heavy graphic stuff that doesn't cut through to the customer. Like it's too much. It's too much. When I see too much graphic design and less people, that's what it is, I reckon. It's more graphic design and less human is is to me signals like less trust. So I kind of don't I wouldn't buy something like that. Um, a good example is the website Athletic Greens. The greens powder, and everything is done in I want to try to pull it up. Everything's done in graphic design work. Um, they've
Adam, I found
changed
a
it.
good one on Insta. Sorry, mate. Found a good one on Insta the other day. Zamirovic Brothers, ZAMUROVIC.
Yeah,
Basically, you just put a photo of your, say, your t-shirt,
yeah,
and the AI basically just throws it on a, good looking bloke, a good looking girl, whatever, and does all the scene, and it looks so real.
mm,
Um, that's including the people, so it's not just sort of that graphic-y looking crap. So
yeah,
I haven't looked into it too far yet, because I'm not at that point, but that was the
yeah.
main one I've seen popping up in my feeds. It looked really good. It just looks so real. And it was people, not just, putting it, on a coffee mug or whatever it is. So yeah, I can chuck it in the chat, but Zamurovic Brothers, I think they're called. Yeah. I
Okay.
think they're out of Russia or something. They're really good.
If you can do it, do it.
Mm.
Get it. If it aligns with your brand and you want to do it, then do it. But if something looks off and wacky, people aren't. They're not silly. Like people can see if something, even
For
if
sure.
you can be the judge. Like that's all. You guys can be the judge of like what do you reckon looks a bit off and wacky. Um, and I was going to pull up that Athletic Greens page because it's a famous greens powder. They talk about it on podcasts all the time. They've got these sort of graphic photos, but they've always got a guy or someone with it. Like they've always, it's just a product that they could easily do in AI or whatever. But the fact that they've always got people around, um, it makes you think you trust it and it works, and now you are more likely to buy it. And that's a good example of a product that you could easily just do everything on the computer and it wouldn't matter. So I like personally, I think more human the better, even if it's iPhone quality. The more you
Mm.
can do, the better.
Raw and real.
Yeah, like there's, even with your stuff, Adam, because it's sort of based on health as well. You could go to events, even if you joined an event and you had a couple of people wearing the t-shirt, it looks like it's your event, people are running around. You can take photos. Like you can do stuff that is
Mm.
kind of sneaky in that regard, and then you're gonna get a lot of good content because it's just could look like it's your whole event, right? You don't have to. You could even you could probably work out a way to like probably crop out the banners or something and put your logo on it. You can do cheeky stuff, but as long as you sort of just uh did more content with humans, I reckon.
Mm.
I think it works better.
Yeah, Joel, Seb and
Yeah.
I had an idea. We're going to take some of our garments to a festival, just get people to try them on and take some photos of them.
Great idea. Great idea.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
so that's
great.
pretty cool.
Video them. So get UGCs. What do you think of this fit?
Yeah,
How is it? Yeah. Like,
yeah, that's the
what do you think?
plan. So, and they'll already be in like the clothes that sort of suit our brand. So,
Yeah. So
work.
you could, if that was me, I'd write down like two or three main questions that I want people to say. Like, what
Get
do
a
you think of the
script.
fabrics? Yeah, like they comfy or how's the fit of the hoodie and all that stuff, and they can just describe it, and then yeah, that's
Cool.
sick. Yeah, that's great. More social proof, the better.
Yeah, it's all about social proof. Like if people see people wearing it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They know.
yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Any sort of last questions? Anyone stuck on anything at the moment?
Just
One last one for Alana. When we go to this expo in a couple of weeks, what's like the best thing to take along with you? So you think you should take a sample of a t-shirt or
Yeah, I think so.
yeah,
Yeah, even that, or you can just get some pictures up on your iPhone and show them, say we're looking at doing this type of product. You can ask them about like the minimum order quantity
yeah,
and the prices, like a rough range. what other brands that they work for. But yeah, it's just like a meet and greet. It's fun.
Yeah.
And they do like free seminars as well that you can go and have a look at.
From a physical standpoint, you're probably better to take a tee or wear something that you're looking to use.
Yeah.
This is the sort of thing I want to do. Yeah, perfect. All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. It'd be
Is that-
fun.
Is that the China Expo you guys are talking about? The one at the
Yeah,
Maquette? Or
It is. Yeah, yeah.
It is. Yeah. Okay. So is there a few guys going to that? You
Yeah, I think it's 19th to the 21st. I think I'm going on the 20th, mate, because I've got something
Yeah.
on the day before. But yeah, I've not been. I was speaking to one of the girls yesterday. She went to the Sydney one and loved it. Found a manufacturer and everything. So yeah, looking forward to it. You can at least touch and feel and talk to them. It's not just through email. So
Yeah.
You got to register though. Just put that in. You got to actually register online first. You can't just rock up.
Yeah.
It's on the 20th of November, right?
Yeah, I think it's 19th to the 21st.
Mm.
Tuesday,
What's
Wednesday,
what's the
Thursday.
name? What's the name of that one, Tim? Do you have it there?
It's called the China Textile Expo, I think. Let me have a look.
Yeah. ChinaTextiles.com.au. I think it was making noise before when I.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, you just got to register. There's two on at the same time. There's a shoe one as well, which is a different registration. This is the clothing one.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, so you just got to register on there, and then they send it in an email and just show that at the door. I think you can't just rock up, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're great. They're really good to
Yep.
go to. Yeah, best advice there is just try rock up with a bit of professionalism. You know, have something in your hands or printed
Yep.
out document or something there to, because you imagine how many people are there just thinking they can set up a website and sell anything from China. Like it's
Yeah.
probably 90% of the people there. So
Yeah.
if you want to stand out, bring some stuff like a bit of a
That's how I
manufacturer
thought
pack.
before I started this, mate. So
Yeah.
I thought it was easy, but it's not. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Not easy.
No.
But
Oh, sorry, that's me.
no,
Sorry,
that's all right.
it's the China website.
Yeah, no stress. Yeah, that's a great place to go and check out stuff. Go prepared and hopefully you guys can, if you can snag a manufacturer there, awesome. You know, that's great. You get to talk to them face to face. So what's coming up this week? We've got coaching call next week at 6, alternating again. So 11 and 6. Next week is the 6 p.m. Probably going to dive into a bit more Shopify stuff. I think some of you guys are getting a little bit stuck on just setting up the website and things like that. Everyone here had a chance to watch the video with Rex on the company structure.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, you liked it?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
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 Yeah, he's a super smart guy. I think it's just good to have in your wheelhouse just before you start, before you launch, stuff to think about before you start making money as well. Like definitely a good
I
thing.
did email him, mate, with just a contract that I'd done. Just as he said in the video, feel free to shoot him through, but I haven't heard back. He's obviously very, very busy, but yeah, and I'm like very low-hanging fruit. So, yeah, but yeah, that was really good. A lot of good info in there.
Yeah, awesome.
yeah. Sam and I sent him a contract as well.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
he got back to us. He said it was sweet. So that was
Oh, did
good.
he? Oh, mine might have gone.
Yeah.
Mine might have gone to his spam because I'm using Gmail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. So you got back to you, Jake, and said all good.
Yeah, he
Contract.
did.
Yeah. Great. Was it a contract between you and Sam or?
No, our graphic designer.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Obviously, he made our brand logo and everything. So
Yep. No, great work. That's good. All right, guys. Well, have a good week. Make sure you smash through all this stuff. And once again, if you get stuck, reach out to myself or Alana if you have any problems, especially in the design stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, just real quick. I
Yeah.
might have missed Alana's like introduction. It'd just be great to know a little bit more like how she's around to help and her background and her expertise.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, take
Yes,
it away,
please.
I have been a designer since I was like 18. So um, I'm 37 now, so I've got a lot of experience, and I've worked with like streetwear brands like Mossimo and Stussy, Paul Frank. That's how I started my career. I started in menswear, and then I did Ziggy Denim, so I know a lot about like denim fits and washes. I've also lived in London for 4 years, and I've done like high street brands like New Look and Primark. And I've done, when I come back to Melbourne, I did fast fashion like IMGR. And now I have my own brand and my own business with my sister. And I also do design, like product development for people starting brands and like existing brands. Yeah, more like a freelancer now in a way.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But I'm here to help if you have any questions.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Product design.
Yeah, so Alana's come in as a design coach basically, just to help you guys out and answer any questions. Make sure you don't get sort of stuck. Not going to do any design work specifically unless, that's sort of a separate sort of contract, but more just to sort of help you guys and workshop things on maybe on calls. Like if you had something that you wanted just looked at on a call, you could just share your screen. We can have a look at it. Anything like that, just to help you sort of get through that next roadblock of design. Because most of you guys are reaching out to like so many different designers too. And then kind of like I see people snubbing them off when like one designer doesn't work, they just sort of get rid of them. And I think it's better to understand what you're giving a designer at the same time. So a bit of a idea of your brand book, like kind of like what you're working on now, Nadia. Working on something to give a designer is more important, or as important as finding a good designer. So just to help you with all that stuff as well. Yeah.
Joel, did you ever find the Ruby Sees All website?
No, I can't find it.
No, neither can I, mate. I don't know what's happening with that. But they're still around because Elisa was talking to them 2 days ago. So I don't know what's happened to their online stuff.
I actually
Anyway,
can't
take
find
it offline. Don't waste people's time for now. But yeah, I just found
Yeah.
it weird it was not there anymore. And so
Yeah.
because I liked what they had. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I actually typed in as soon as I saw your message, I typed it in the other day and had a look and I just couldn't find the manufacturer website. So
Yep.
yeah, I don't know. I might chase Ash up with that.
All right,
See
cool.
if she can find it. Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
All right, guys. Thanks heaps.